It's Daniel from Stump PPC. So in today's video, I wanted to cover some mistakes that I see that advertisers are making that are not getting them as good of performance as they could get in their Google Ads account. So again, I'm in my tutorial account, so I don't have much data. I don't have any data actually here because this is a demo account. But I'm gonna go ahead and show some strategies that I would implement if I was running a new Google Ads account with a lower budget, and some mistakes that I've seen. Okay, so the example that I want to give is if you have $1,000 budget. So how would you split up $1,000 budget, which is what most advertisers are running, and that's the bare minimum I would recommend when you're starting out your Google Ads campaign. The great thing is Google also has their $600 promo. If you're in Canada, that's what it is, but in other countries it may vary. So you could even do like a 600 starting off just to test out some of your campaigns and see how they perform, and see what changes you have to make, because $600 can give you some baseline data to make some changes depending on what type of campaigns you're running. Again, if you have a $600 budget, I would just recommend sticking to a search campaign with a low budget remarketing, which is actually the focus of today's video. Or if you're doing a product based, you have an e-commerce store or product based business, then you want to run a shopping campaign with a slight focus on search. That's, again, with $600. That's a very, very small budget. Wouldn't even recommend doing that. I would recommend with $1,000. Okay, so what I would start off with if you're a lead based business is a $30 per day campaign with your main objective. So I would only focus on your 1 to 2 main objectives. Like if you have certain programs, if you're like a school, and you do like tennis programs, for example, your martial arts, your fitness, only focus on your 2 types of programs that you've seen work the best through organic search or through just in general, like the ones that you get the most customers for. Because the thing with Google Ads is too, like if you don't have a good performing product or service, you're not going to magically just get results through Google Ads. The Google Ads will work if organically you're getting decent results and you already see decent traction, and you just want to increase how much traction you're getting through running promotions as well. Okay, so really look at the data that you have, take a look at what works well, and just continue to funnel that into Google Ads, and I guarantee you will get results like that. But again, the big thing is structuring your campaign in a way that supports these objectives that you have. So you really want to do that in the right way, or else you mess up your account. So for example, right here, we have like a free trials campaign. We're just trying to get submissions for a free trials program for martial arts. I would go ahead and set this to $30 per day. I'm just going to go over the campaign because I created this a little while back in one of my earlier videos. So I have 2 ad groups here. For example, this is just from a demo I created, but let's say my 2 main objectives, let's say I'm a MMA gym, and my 2 best selling or best performing programs would be like my jiu-jitsu subscription and my Muay Thai subscription. Just random examples that I thought off the top of my head. So what I would do, I would create ad groups specifically to these objectives. So I'd have one ad group for Muay Thai here, and then I would exit out of this. Again, just demos, and then I would create a new one as well called BJJ or Jiu-Jitsu. Okay, and then in each of these ad groups, you're targeting these specific keywords that go into that. So if you're jiu-jitsu, if you have a jiu-jitsu program, you target anything with jiu-jitsu classes near me. As your local business, you want to target something close to you and all of those things. And then you're directing traffic through this search campaign that you create. Okay, so you want to add, I only added around 4 keywords, but best practice, I would add anywhere from, I'd say 4 to 10-ish. And then I would test out 2 on broad match. So something like, I should even add like martial arts here. I would add that on broad match for the reason that I just want to see what type of searches we rank for. So we did an initial keyword research, but I want to see what type of searches that I'm ranking for martial arts. And within a week's time, I can already see, okay, I'm getting like several impressions for like a specific variation of this, and I think it's relevant to my business. So you would click this and then you would add it as a keyword. Or if you're seeing irrelevant searches, like let's say it's like equipment for martial arts and you don't sell that, then you add it as a negative because you just don't want to rank for that. Okay, again, these were just general examples, but I have a previous video where I did some keyword research and I explained some best practices for that when creating your search campaign. So again, you want to have distinct ad groups for your two, I would say, best selling objectives. And that way you can see how each of them perform. Because if you start to have more than that, then you just won't be having enough budget spending onto these, on like, let's say 3 or 4 objectives, because with a $20 to $30 per day campaign, it can be tough. Again, depends on your CPC and how much you're spending per click. Because if you're spending like around $2 per click, you'll only be getting like, let's say $7, 7 clicks for $14 for each campaign. So you'll only be getting around like 7 to 8. You'll only be getting around 15 clicks a day. Again, this is with a $2 CPC. I'm just giving a random estimation. Of course, CPC can change depending on how your ads perform and the quality of them. I also covered keyword quality score and some components that go into lowering Google Ads CPC. So again, I would just focus on your 2 main objectives and see how they perform. And from that point, you can make changes to your ads, to your ad groups for the better so that they continue to improve in performance. Okay, so once you have this $30 per day search campaign set up, again, I recommend you watch my previous video, or you can even leave some comments in this under this video and let me know if you have any questions when creating your own. I'm happy to help in that sense. So after you've created this $30 per day campaign, what I would do is I would set up a really low budget remarketing campaign. So remarketing is something that most businesses don't even do because it's just not in their mind and it's not really mentioned that much in Google Ads. And it's such a useful component because you're not even trying to get clicks from it. You're just trying to show the ads to a specific amount of people that saw your ad from the search campaign or even organically. And you want them to see it 15 to 20 times. So you continuously remind them of who you are, your brand, and your product. And from that point, they come back through the search campaign or even organically and make a purchase. And you'll see that. You'll see that you might not be getting conversions in your remarketing campaign, but you will be in your search campaign because the remarketing is just helping with showing those ads to the right people. Okay, so I'll show you how to do that. What I would do for remarketing, it used to be discovery. I don't remember if they have that, but let's say we're doing this for a lead business. Yep, so they took out discovery. Demand gen is a newer campaign. There hasn't been too many tests on it, and I don't think it's very successful, so I haven't really experimented with it too much. But that's how it usually is. Like when Performance Max came out about a year ago, it was really, really bad. Now it's starting to pick up. So same with this. This only came out about a couple months to half a year ago. So in half a year's time, I'll probably make another video on this when it's useful, and some benefits of running these campaigns, where they would be useful depending on the type of business that you have. But for now, what I've seen success with is either display or video. But I would recommend with display because it's just a lot simpler. And I would call it as a display remarketing. Okay, and then we'll enter your website. And then you only want to target, again, specific to the region that you have. So whatever it is, I would go into advanced and you can add by radius. This is what I was saying in my last video as well. You can target to a specific radius. So if your business, like you only usually get customers from like 15 to 20 miles away, then target by that and then exclude everything outside of that. So if you have like certain regions that you see your ads are ranking a ton for, then just cancel it out just by excluding it here. Like if you don't want to target like Pickering, I'm just giving a random example of an area here, just exclude it. And then you don't want to target it. Or any of these other ones. Like if you're like in the center here and like you don't want to target anything else, just filter everything out. Just literally add exclusions to all of these other cities around you so that your ads don't show up there. Okay, that's best practice for the search campaign. For this, you also want to make sure your targeting is really specific, but the focus of this is to target back on website visitors. So I honestly do remarketing for both the ads and the website by creating a custom audience. Okay, so since I already started doing this, I just forgot how to show how to create like a website visitors audience. I'll show this after like I just simply set this up. Okay, so again, if you're running a $30 per day search campaign, that's going to be around 910-ish dollars. And then you'll have around 80 something to $90 per day. So with that, that would be like in the high twos, $2 per day that you're spending on the remarketing campaign. Again, it's very cheap. It's not expensive. Let's just say $3 for now, but you can make the calculation yourself. In terms of bid strategy, I usually leave it to just conversions, just so we can get as many people as possible that are likely to convert, that see the ads and that have those type of behaviors. And as for targeting, so targeting is it's the most important component of this. So the point of a remarketing campaign, again, we're showing our ads to people who have already seen our initial ads from a search campaign or have had some interaction with our business. So the way that we do that is by targeting back to website visitors. So we can do that by just creating our custom audience here, which I would do. What I did was I just duplicated. So if you have an account paired here, you will probably have one of these options like here, like will automatically creates audiences for you, like ones of all converters, website visitors, or website visitors based on GA4. So if you have Google Analytics 4 linked, you're going to see one of these options here. Again, because I've never ran ads on this account, that's why I don't have it. But you'll see one of these options when you're filtering through targeted segments. And again, you just want to target or it might be through custom audiences like the ones that you created. So you want to look through here as well. So both in search and browse, and you want to find the ones that say website visitors from Google Analytics or anything like that. And you can even exclude the people that have converted, because you just want to show these ads to people that are like middle of the funnel, already like interested in your product, but not so ready to purchase. And you're trying to get them ready to purchase by getting them back to searching for your program, and then they would click through and go to your landing page and maybe make a purchase. That's our goal: purchase or form submission. Okay. So placements are an important point as well. You can add exclusions or include certain placements. You can leave this broad, for example, and just see where you're ranking once you ran your ads for a little while, and then from that point, okay, you can exclude certain placements. If you know, like it's like a gaming website, for example, like you don't want to rank for that, or it's like a kid's YouTube channel, like waste your budget, or if it's like a kid that plays games on his mom's phone, so it's like a young, kid, and they're playing some mobile game, you don't want to be showing up on that. So you can see what placements you're actually getting for what types of apps. So if it's like games or gaming websites, especially, I would usually exclude those. I don't see the best performance with those. Otherwise, you can just see which ones specifically to your business are not functioning well. Okay. And then when we create this ad, so what I would do is, again, we want to have the same final URL because we just want to resonate with the search campaign. Have your business name, and you want to use similar images to the ones that the person would have seen in the search campaign. So sometimes in search campaigns, you'll have image assets, or when they click through and they see certain images, you want to show them the same or similar types of images, because you just want to remind them of what they were missing or what they already saw. Because people will see something and then they forget, but if you remind them by showing it to them again when they're like on, some ad or browsing, then chances are they'll be more likely to go back and visit your website again. You can even add a video in here as well, but if you just have images, that's no problem. I don't always add a video as well. I would just add certain images that I've seen work best. Same with the headlines and descriptions. We want it to match what we set in the ads or on the landing page. We can even put in our offer here, something like that. So our headline in the landing page could be put up here, something similar to it. Same with descriptions. Again, you want to fill this out, as I said earlier, so that you get an excellent rating here. And then we would create our ad. Okay. I wouldn't copy these again. I'm just giving some general like description so I can just publish this campaign and create the ad. Okay, click publish. Okay, and from that point, you would have your display remarketing campaign. It can take a couple days until you start getting impressions. If you're not getting impressions for it, chances are your audience segment is just too narrow. But again, I would have this running at a low budget. Like if you have a $30 per day campaign and you have organic website visitors, you probably will be getting some impressions for this and getting your ads to show. And again, what I want to emphasize, the key here is to get these ads showing to as relevant of consumers as possible. So people that have already seen your ads or engaged with them or your website content, you want these ads to show to them again. You're not trying to find new customers or prospects by using this campaign. That's not the goal. The goal of that is through a search campaign. Okay. And that's probably the number one thing overall that I've seen missing in most ad accounts. There's no remarketing set up there. So I would do this again through display, or if you have a good promo type of video, then I would even run like a YouTube Shorts campaign dedicated to the specific like middle of funnel type of people. And that way you can remarket them back to your website so that you can get form submission or some form of conversion as well. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up today's video on how you would set up a remarketing campaign and what I see most businesses are missing out on when they're running ads. So I hope that you found this useful and this information actually helped you out. Please let me know in the comments if you have any other questions or need any concrete help with setting up your display remarketing campaign, or even the audiences if it was unclear. It can be a bit confusing when you're doing this for the first time. But again, I'm happy to help. If anybody needs help, just drop it in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for listening.